Okay, so temperance, obviously, you know how it goes. For some of y'all out there that's been watching tarot readings for a while, but for the newcomers, you got temperance coming up here that indicates patience, balance, harmony. But this is also showing that making, showing the impossible is possible, right? I should have said that in Sagittarius reading because they had something very similar to what this reading is saying too. Um, it's about patience and taking care of your responsibilities and all that. But this is also showing you that there is, that sometimes the things that we feel that it's impossible can be possible. And what's right behind it is the King of Swords, the most logical card in the deck. He would never believe something like this would happen, where somebody can hold their cups so far apart and still somehow somehow pour the water into the other cup. So, so I feel like instead, like the logical mind is sort of being suppressed, sort of being, um, you know, um, it's sort of being shown out right now because the intuitive, the magical aspect of our existence is showing out. It's definitely proving the logical mind of what the creative, more abstract energy, abstract part of ourselves is really showing. So I do get the sense that for some of you guys right now, it's kind of hard to believe that there's certain things that can happen, but you can't deny what you saw. You can't deny what you feel. You can't deny what you've experienced. So whatever you guys have gone through in your time where you feel like you kind of got hit with a certain, like a spell or something, I really feel like this is kind of proving to you that that anything can happen as long as you set your mind to it. But the problem that I see going on here right now is this eight of swords, right? This eight of swords here, not a good combination. I like this card. The reason why I like this card is because this is talking about being stuck in your thoughts and not making any progress still. And I don't think that's necessarily a problem because the High Priestess is here crossing you, so that's very passive in itself. But this is not necessarily being open though. This is not making any movements like the High Priestess, but yet there is no, there's no movement. There's no openness with the Eight of Swords. The challenge is to break free from the cage that we put ourselves in our mind of what's possible, what's not possible, what can happen, what can't happen, what can happen, what can't happen. Um, putting ourselves in this little bubble where there's limited opportunities and limited things that that can be going that can go on. But the thing is that we have to break free from that blindfold. We have to take off that blindfold to see that the path in front of us is open. It's limitless. It shows no restriction to us. And as a matter of fact, these swords can help us break free. But the thing is that we don't see these as options. We don't see these as tools to help us free ourselves from this gilded cage, from this not gilded cage, but free ourselves from this mental cage. We see this as a paralysis. We don't move because if we do, we'll cut ourselves. The fear of making a mistake. And I feel like the High Priestess is telling you to go with your intuition. The challenge is going with your intuition, or the obstacle is like following your heart, following how you feel, and just trusting and seeing how that goes. There's a lot of logical thinking coming up, and that logical thinking is keeping you guys from being able to do what you feel you're most led to do. So that's why it's important to look at the High Priestess and say, okay, why are you here? Because there's something that you have to trust within yourself, to trust within the universe, within God, within whoever you believe in, because they're going to always get you to where you need to be. Have faith, because the High Priestess will remind us of faith, and similar to temperance, remind us that faith is there. Faith is powerful, more powerful than the mind in its logical games. And it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to question things. It's important, as a matter of fact. That's why God gave us a mind and our voice and things like that. That's why we are all the King of Swords in our own way, because we ask the hard questions to understand. But the second we start to rely on that logic is when we become, we start to lose touch with our spiritual energy. And that's the thing with the High Priestess. I don't think it's saying to be passive. I think it's saying to trust in your intuition. Now, in the past, you definitely taken things a little slowly. Still making progress, though. And, you're moving in a direction where you felt definitely, like you're headed towards some sort of stability, security, some sort of, something that means some great value to you, right? Something that definitely is established and feels kind of realistic in your eyes, right? So you're moving very meticulously, very practical. Some of you guys may have been looking very closely at details and kind of making sure that whatever you're committing yourself to is something legitimate that you're trying, that's you could commit to. But then you have the Four of Pentacles in your present, which indicates being stuck. Again, kind of holding on to what makes you feel safe, this comfort zone that you've got going on here. The Four of Pentacles can indicate that, and like when it's paired with the Eight of Swords, you can kind of get stuck there, right? Because this is, realistically, this is all this man has. This is all this man's ever going to get to, because he's not taking a leap of faith. He's not going out to go and find more things. He's not investing in the things that he's got there. He's actually just holding on to them. It's like leaving your money in a savings account that doesn't produce interest. That's exactly what he's doing. Instead of putting his money out there into stocks and seeing it grow, or taking his money and investing it in a business, to expand himself. But instead, he's keeping hold of his money underneath a pillow, inside of a mattress, underneath a bed frame, whatever, or in a safe, and he's not doing anything with it. It's just sitting there with him as it gets old. It becomes, it doesn't lose its value, because it's pentacles, right? It never loses its value. Money never ever loses its value. But the thing that we have to remember is that with the Four of Pentacles coming up like this person is not utilizing its value either. It may not lose its value, but they're not using it to the best of their ability. Not because that's not because they just, they're crazy, but because they just all they believe that they have. This makes them feel safe. This is something that they've worked very hard to get, and they're not necessarily ready to break free from it. But that fear is keeping them from being able to accomplish amazing things, to do some great things, and those great things can be done with what they have there, which is why it's very similar to the Sagittarius reading, where they have to make a sacrifice. Similar, there's something that you have to release, you have to let go of, because, or honestly, break free from the mindset of there can only be a certain number of things that you can do, or there is certain, break free from this trapped energy in your mind, or this trapped mindset that you've got going on here, right? Do the unthinkable. Do the thing that you feel like is impossible, because Jupiter is a Sagittarius, all right? Magic is about to happen, all right? Escorted by the moon, we are being blessed with Sagittarian energy before Scorpio season is over. And Scorpio season is getting to our core selves. Why are we afraid? Why are we afraid? It's showing us our dark side. It's showing us our fears. It's showing us the parts of us that we don't show the world. And this is exactly it. So what are you keeping to yourself? What are you afraid of? And conquering that, and acknowledging that as truth, but also releasing it too, and understanding that this doesn't have to be your truth. It doesn't have to be your life. It doesn't have to be who you are, and going after that thing that you want, whether this is a relationship, whether that is a career, a life path, doing the thing that you feel is could put you out in the street, could make you feel like that you lose it all, right? But you don't. You never lose it all. You never lose that sense of stability and security, because that's something personal and emotional that someone can never take from you. And I think we forget that Pentacles really doesn't necessarily mean stability to me. It does. It's real. It's something that you can rely, you can touch, and you can definitely know that's in the second dimension, that it exists. But as far as support, so as far as feeling safe, who rules all that energy? Cancer rules that energy of feeling safe. And that is it's an emotion. It's something that we feel. And we get that with Pentacles when we shouldn't. Materialistically, we shouldn't be getting anything emotional from Pentacles. So just the fact that it's real, it should be enough. The fact that it's something that we can, definitely rely on. But as far as providing ourselves with support, security, that is something that we have to get of our own. And that's why it's important. That's why the person has to leave these Four of Pentacles, because he can make anything happen and still feel secure and safe without having anything around him. Nothing. He can have nothing, but he still feels safe, because he can take care of himself, and he knows that he can do, and he knows that he can do, and he's willing to do, anything he needs to make sure he is safe. Okay. Now, breaking free from this Four of Pentacles, you have this Nine of Cups in the future. You start to become more content and feel more happy. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about the things that you want. You feel good about the journey that you're on. You feel good about everything. You feel happiness, contentment. This is the Wish card here because you manifest from a vibration that literally comes from the dreams and the wishes that you've been wanting, right? You have to feel how you have to be in the moment and feel as though your manifestation has existed. You have to feel how you would be if you had everything that you've ever wanted. And I feel like you do feel this way, not because you have everything you wanted, not because you're pretending to have everything you wanted, but because you know that you provided yourself the security and the stability that you need. And I know it may feel like it's impossible without physical things, but you can do that. It's really interesting how it's possible, but you could do it. It's because you return that power back to yourself. You give it back to yourself, right? You don't have anybody near you. You have no one, as a matter of fact, to give you that stability but yourself. And that is one of the most priceless prizes in the world that anybody can ever give you. Because we can always feel scared and insecure and unsafe. But the second that we find a way to make ourselves feel safe, or if we find it in ourselves to that safety net, no one can take that away from us. No one can make us feel any sort of way. And that honestly will make us stronger and able to take on more hits, get out, fall off the horses more, and be more adamant about getting up, because we know that we have what it takes to keep moving forward. And we know that we deserve to have what we want. Now, it's interesting though, you have in your external energy is the Three of Pentacles, okay? Three of Wands, rather. The Three of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. You know what to expect. I feel like you know that even though you've done the work and everything, you can expect nothing to come through. Right? I feel like you still have expectations of something happening, even though you aren't doing anything about anything right now. Right? Or somebody around you has definitely halted and stopped communicating. There's, when the High Priestess and the Four of Pentacles comes up, there's a red flag to me. Somebody's keeping secrets. But keeping secrets to protect themselves, not a secret that would hurt someone, or it's a secret that is damaging to a relationship. But they have to take a leap of faith, because this is based off of their security. But the Three of Wands for me, it's like, okay, what are you expecting with the Four of Pentacles? I feel like there was definite progress here. You were working, you were moving, you were taking action, you were doing something in the meantime of your waiting. But now that that's over, now that you got this pentacle, now what are you still expecting? What are you still looking out for? Are you expecting for your truth to come out and expose itself? Are you expecting, your truth to come out? Because some of you guys may be keeping a secret that's protecting you, and that has been protecting you, that's been providing you with a false sense of security. But it's like, it's not providing you freedom, right? That's security does not deprive you of freedom. That's the thing. The second that it does, it's not security. It's a cage. It's trapping. If that's what you all want, you could keep it. But if you want freedom, if you want to feel free to do whatever you want to do, you have to recognize that what you guys have got going on is either security or prison. You gotta pick either one. You can't have both. Because right now, this looks like you've created a little prison for yourself here. Because whatever this secret is, it's been something that you've been, you're used to keeping for yourself, to keep yourself safe. Or not, if it's not a secret, then keep yourself away from people altogether. Keep your emotions secret, tight, down, locked up, not showing up, not showing out, not expanding of yourself, not feeling anything. High Priestess is open to any and all information, all things. And that keeping it to itself, that is, in a way, a cage, because you're not freeing that portion of yourself. And I feel like as we keep going into, Jupiter and Sag, we're going to start to feel all this stuff that's been bottled up, because we are not, we're not confident in ourselves to say what we need to say, to go after things that we want to go after, to make the sacrifices of those things that we've got to see where it can lead. But and like I said before, faith is knowing. The impossible is impossible. The impossible is possible because we believe it is possible, that nothing will stop us. There's no limits. Temperance and the eight of swords are very opposite in that respect to me, because this is limits. The eight of swords. This is limits. Then you have the unlimited, the possible, the immense possibilities. The plethora of possibilities. Now, your goal, aim, ambition is the wheel of fortune. You guys want to change your luck. You guys want a new opportunity. And you know what the thing is that this is also in your advice. Okay, this is the same section, right? You want a new opportunity. You want a second chance for some of you guys. And I feel like you guys can have this second chance. But you can't have it sitting down and holding on to those pentacles. You have everything you need to make this second chance happen on your own. And it's about just going ahead and doing it rather than wishing it would happen. Because the Three of Wands is not going to get you what you want. The Three of Wands is not going to manifest you anything. And I know the Three of Wands is said as the manifestation card is a manifestation card only because there's work being done at the time as this person is as this person is waiting for the return of their work, right? Seeing seeing the result of their work. Okay, so if you haven't been doing anything, then there's nothing to expect. But if you have been, then there's something then yeah, you have been manifesting. But you have to kind of shift your focus at the same time. You have to break free from this sense of protection, or this false sense of protection, because it's not getting you anywhere. It's actually making you, it's this sort of waiting that you're doing is not going to actually get you anything, because you have stopped moving. You have to keep moving. You can't just do a little work here and then completely stop, expecting that's enough. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. Now, your external energy, your outcome is the Two of Wands. And that talks about making a decision and then going for it. Right? Making a decision and going for it. The execution of this decision. Picking a path. Now, you can't move forward anymore, and I think that's the thing. You know that. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys is that when you pick that path, taking the action, taking that action is what's going to get things moving. But Temperance doesn't make the impossible happen by not doing anything. It does. It happens because he takes action. He's pouring those cups in the most impossible way. You can pour a cup in the most impossible way and still get the results that you're looking for. But you have to believe that whatever it's really about believing what you believe is impossible to be possible, because you know that you are capable of wielding the magic to make it happen. Whether this having a relationship, getting married, having the dream career, you have to put the work in. You have to continue to work hard. You've been doing your diligence here, but you can't. There's no stopping. It's all about pushing, keep going, and trucking, keep pushing. All right. Wow. Here are the Ancient Ones, and it's very similar to High Priestess for me, because it talks about listening to your ancestors, listening to God, listening to whoever you base your faith around. And it's saying to trust in yourself and trust into those that you believe has your back. If you're associated with a religion, trust in God, trust in that religion, right? Trust in that that faith in yourself, right? That what you believe in is what's going to help you push forward, to help you become more more focused and become more open to anything. So especially to what it is that you want to come back into you, to come back, to you in the first place. Whatever you sent out, you want this to return. You have to believe first, and you have to continue doing the work that you need to do. But listen to your guide systems. Don't ignore that. Don't focus primarily on your logic. Like I was saying before, the King of Swords is underneath the Temperance. Okay, it's underneath that. He can't do everything. He's all logical. He's all mental. You have to trust in yourself, trust in God, trust in whoever, trust in your higher self too. But trust that that you can have the things that you want. But here Hear the ancient ones. And you guys have from the wisdom of the oracle, no place like home. Like I was just talking about. You are the only person that can provide yourself stability, support, and security. Nothing physical, nothing outside of yourself can provide you that. It will always fall through. That foundation that you're building that will create you stability and support will always fall through. Why? Because it's not truly coming from a stable place within yourself. It's not coming from anywhere within yourself. It's a branch, If that tree falls, that branch can't be there anymore. So you have to create that, that you have to put the seed in the heart so that way it grows into a gigantic tree with all those branches that you can extend to other people, right? But we'll get to that later. The most important thing is that you want the trunk, the base, the roots, everything to be within you so that way you can feel good. You can feel safe. You can feel stable. Never a sliver of somebody else's stability and security that they're willing to lend to you. But you take that seed, and you grow that within you. You grow that. Because if you do that, that will never be taken from you. And it will make sense why this will be here, the Nine of Cups. You will be good. You feel good about yourself. You will feel good about your life. You feel good that you know that you have your back. That nothing will be taken from you. That nothing will truly be at risk because everything you need is within.